If you have been struggling in the markets, we've got the video for you today. This video is called Trading Will Take Everything From You. And it's a very good trading psychology video. My name is Christopher Ewell. I am a professional investor. I am competing in the US Investing Championship for 2026. So let's see if we can apply this to our trading for 2026.
Trading will take everything from you. And I'll be honest, I'm not even being that dramatic. I mean, literally. If you stay in the trading game long enough, it's going to take your confidence, your peace, your relationships, and your health to the absolute limits. If you let it, it could take your whole identity. And worst of all, it's not even like that happens all at once. It does it slowly, quietly, in ways that you hardly notice, kind of like a frog in a boiling pot, until you look up one day and realize you've built your entire emotional life around some pixelated numbers moving on a screen.
That's really funny. I was that way, right? When I had winning streaks, I felt like a winner. Everything was better in my life. When I had losing streaks, my marriage was bad, my relationship with my children was bad, everything was bad. You don't want that to happen to you. Really, really, you don't.
Now, I'm not saying this necessarily to scare you away from the industry. I'm saying it because so many people right now are living through that dark part of the movie. So, this video was made in late 2025. And this year has been one of those environments where a lot of things feel broken. Crypto is essentially dead again, and narratives and new metas, they're gone. Liquidity, well, one day we're so back, and the next day it's so over, right? And lots of people find themselves sitting in bags that they don't even believe in anymore. Heavy bags of mostly just hope, if anything. TradFi has been tough as well. Choppy moves, geopolitical noise, confusing economic data, a government shutdown, whipsaws, and no clean follow throughs of breakouts. It's almost like the market is intentionally coming after you, trying to make you feel stupid. So, if that's you, if you feel like you're in that place, you're exhausted, questioning everything about yourself, or nothing is working, hear me clearly. You are not alone, and you're definitely not crazy. This is the dark side of trading. This is where they get you. So I want to talk about it honestly because not that many people actually do. Most people, they're just highlight reels. You're only going to hear from them when the trading is going right. They're going to be
Yes, most people, especially on the internet, only show their wins. And so that's why we're different, right? I actually trade live here on YouTube. Every trade that I'm taking to compete in the US Investing Championship will be linked in a spreadsheet down below. Full accountability. I'm showing you everything of what it takes to be a professional investor with the intention of showing you that you can also be successful in the markets. We're not just showing gold Lambos. We're not just showing all the great wins. We're showing everything. Wins, losses, everything.
flexing all over the timeline, even when everything for you has gone wrong. There's somebody out there dunking on everybody else and showing it to you, flaunting it. But realize most public traders are only showing you a trading lifestyle. It's a complete joke. Laptops, cocktails, partying, cars.
Yep. Which is one of the reasons why we don't do any lifestyle videos, right? I can show you my really cool collection of watches, but Mahesh, our CEO, he specifically was like, Chris, I don't want you to be flashy, right? You get to wear one watch. That's it. Come on. And it's legitimately because we don't want that type of customer. We want people who understand what it takes to be successful. And if you don't, you're in the right place because I'm going to teach you exactly how to do that for free here on YouTube. I'm not going to charge you $10,000. I'm not going to say, go take my masterclass. When you go take my masterclass, then you'll be able to see the real good stuff. It's behind the masterclass. Then you get to the masterclass and it's like, my really, really good stuff is actually behind the $10,000 paywall. And listen, this $10,000 course is so much better than the one that I put out last year that those idiots paid for. It's so much better. You're going to make so much more money than you would have had you bought last year's course. So if you bought last year's course, you need to make sure you buy this year's course too. No, we don't play like that. This is the reality of trading. This is exactly what we want to do. We want to help you, and honestly, we want to help you for free be successful. And then our grand evil plan is once you are successful, you understand what it takes to be successful is being an outlier, and you'll join us. It's 82 cents a day. Give me a break. It's nothing.
A no drawdown type of existence. That's not trading, bros. That's just a marketing ploy. That's getting them to make you buy in, to buy one of their courses or some indicator or join some prop firm, all while they personally search for their own validation in life. Real trading, however, is one of the most psychologically punishing pursuits you can choose. It's one of the few jobs where you can work hard, prepare well, do all the right things, and still lose money.
Yes, this is actually one of those difficult concepts in trading because I want to show you a chart of Tesla. And let's go to Tesla real quick. I'll show you why trading is really difficult for a lot of people, right? Now, every time you bake a cake and you follow the recipe exactly, you're going to end up with that beautiful chocolate cake, right? Every time you have the same inputs, you're going to end up with the same outputs. That is a fact. That is what it is like when you are doing anything else in the world except trading. With trading, you can have the exact same input, like here, here, and here, and have vastly different outputs. Vastly, right? This actually was like a 30% win, so it's a beautiful win. A small loss, and then a huge 100-something percent win. All three of these started with the exact same 10 over 20, price over 50 bullish cross. Yet the outputs of each one vastly different. And you could have a 10-20 cross right here, and it just immediately turn around and go down, right? That could happen too. They go 10-20 cross right there, came up, and then came immediately right back down. In trading, we don't know what the outcome will be based on the inputs. But a lot of people want to force the outcome. Hey, I want my stock to go up. By God, I'm so confident in this trade. If you want to know what I'm talking about, that had to do with the previous video we just watched. I'm so confident in this trade that it has to go up. So therefore, I'm going to bet YOLO calls way out of the money because it has to do what I tell it to do, right? Now remember, the inputs may be the same, but the outputs are going to be vastly different. One of my mentors, Steve Burns, he would tell me to be rigid in the plan and flexible in the outcome. This is what it looks like to be flexible in the outcome. I don't know where it's going to land.
Enough, you could do everything wrong and actually get rewarded. What the hell? That could be even more dangerous, to be honest. Trading is the hardest game on earth. Not only are some of the opponents the brightest, most efficient, crafty, and resource-backed executors in the world, but there's even a bigger villain, and that's yourself. Because markets, they're honestly just a mirror to you. Not only is it going to show you like some magical reflection, but most savagely, it doesn't even care how you feel about that reflection. So let's go there. What exactly will trading potentially take from you? And don't worry, at the end of this, I will show you the light at the end of the tunnel. There is one. But we can't reach that light by pretending that the dark side isn't there. Instead, you earn it right by walking straight through it. One of my favorite books is by Ryan Holiday called The Obstacle is the Way, book on Stoicism. I think that applies here perfect.
I think I have that. I think I have an autographed copy of that. Actually, hold on. No, I don't. I have Discipline is Destiny. I was at Half Price Books one day and picked up this book. I had heard of Ryan Holiday before. In fact, I've read another one of his books over here called Trust Me, I'm Lying. Trust Me, I'm Lying. And then I picked up this book and I was like, oh, let's check this out. $13 at Half Price Books. And I'm flipping through it and I'm like, okay, all right, interesting. And I go to this page here and it was autographed. And I'm like, that's mine. Coming home with me. Don't tell anybody that this is autographed. So I thought that was pretty cool. I don't have that book though. Maybe I should grab it.
First thing trading can take from you is that sense of certainty. At the start, you think the whole world is logical. If you study hard and long enough, you'll understand the rules, create some great strategy, use a back-tested indicator, a system, the thing. And then boom, the market will introduce you to randomness. Your setup that's clean and battle-tested on that sim textbook that others have used and dominated with. Well, boom, it fails pretty quickly. Well, all right, that's fine. I know it doesn't always work out. I've heard you lose in trading. Let's just run it again and again. Lose, lose, lose. WTF, man. Suddenly you're thrown into a blender, into one of the worst places a trader can find himself. You don't trust, one, your plan, but more importantly, yourself. Well,
that's really critical. Losing trust in the plan. That sucks, right? Now, when we trade our plans, I think it's really crucial to talk about win rates and talk about what those wins and losses look like, right? So in plan M, I have all the backtesting data to put in my pocket right here. I can tell you even by sector what the expectancy is, what the average trade ATR ends up for winners and average trade ATR ends up as losers. But at the end of the day, these are averages. Averages. That means some will be more, some will be less. But if you're going through this, and remember, this is over 7,000 trades, you could find the losing streak in this needle in a haystack. You could absolutely do that. In fact, you could start trading and immediately hit a losing streak, and there was nothing you could do about it because you actually had a losing streak built into here, but you didn't want to acknowledge, oh, you know what? My first trades could be losing streaks. That actually is a reality. right? Or maybe you've won so much that you've decided everything that I touch turns to gold. I'm going to start risking bigger and bigger numbers here because, of course, I'm going to win. And then you hit the losing streak that you should have been expecting. And then all of your gains are gone and more.
Welcome to the spiral. Once that certainty is done and dusted, you begin to search for that safety again, and it's gone. And of course, most of us will look into the wrong places. We'll look for more info, more indicators, more noise. Little do you know, the more input and adjustments and testing layers, the less clarity you might actually find. You're going to open up X, and Discord, and YouTube.
Okay, I'm really glad you pointed this out. When you have a trading plan, there is absolutely no reason to go hunting for information to validate your trading plan. If you need some random guy on the internet to validate, oh, this is a great setup here. You're searching Discord, you're searching Twitter. What would this guy do? What does he say about this stock? You're not confident in your plan at all. I would recommend to you to turn off all the socials. There's nothing for you on there to help with trading. All it's going to do is add confusion, add noise, and get you to break your plan. If you had a plan, you need to follow that plan from start to finish.
Been Audible, you start leaning into those group chats where it's all people you think don't ever lose. You're going to start collecting other people's conviction because you actually just lost your own. Hey, if you've ever taken trades because your buddy said, it's a lock, bro, you know exactly what happened.
Trust me, bro. Hold on. Chris Chains may have to, nah, I'm not going to do Chris Chains on that. Trust me, bro. This stock is amazing. This stock is so great. You got to go buy it. You can't lose on this.
What's next? You haven't lost just money, but complete trust in your own judgment and your own abilities. You're trying to outsource that and the responsibility that comes along with it. That's embarrassing. Angry? Feel like a bitch? And the worst part, you can't even learn the lesson from that because you didn't own the decision in the first place. So from there, you just become more jaded, more cynical, more reactive, more emotional than you need. So once you've lost that certainty, the market is testing to see what you're going to replace it with. The next thing it's going to take is emotional stability. After all, trading is essentially emotional warfare disguised as some Patagonia vest-ridden promised land. It teaches you that your brain is not your friend. Your brain wants comfort, certainty, control, to be right, immediate relief. Market, however, it's the opposite. It rewards things like patience, tolerance of discomfort, delayed gratification, the ability to be wrong without collapsing inward on yourself. So if you aren't trained, the market will train you like a little lab rat. You feel loss, go fix it now. You feel the win, press it, chase. You bored? Do something, take control of those impulses. They're likely very familiar to us, right? Destroy more accounts than bad strategies ever will, though. Now, the real killer, what happens after the trading hours? Sure, the market will close, but your mind won't. You'll sit on your couch, maybe next to your girlfriend or your wife or your kids, but you won't be there. You're staring at some chart in your head, replaying an entry or some missed exit, that moment you hesitated or that greed that overtook your head.
This is really important. I'm glad he's talking about this, right? You don't have to even think about that kind of stuff when you have a trading plan. Now, again, my trading plans are linked down below. My spreadsheet for every trade is linked down below. The full PowerPoint trading plan is linked down below. You can get everything. When you don't have a plan, these are the type of scenarios that are going to run through your head. Jocko Willenick has a book called Discipline is Destiny, or Extreme Ownership. I thought I had that one. Either way, Discipline is Destiny. Discipline is freedom. Discipline equals freedom. The way that works is that when you have the discipline to follow your plan, you no longer have any sort of mental gremlins that are come and haunt you. Just not going to happen. Because all I did was follow the plan. It's just like driving from Dallas to Disney World. Can you do that? Absolutely. We all know you can do that. Can you take every exit along the way because you saw a shiny object over there? Oh, I need to take this trade. Oh no, I panic sold this. Oh no, I panic bought this. You can absolutely do that too. Or you can follow the plan the entire way, going from Dallas to Disney World, knowing where you need to get out, get off the highway, and that's it. Then there is no more mental fatigue that goes along with it. I just follow my plan. That is an extremely freeing place to be. And I would hope that you can achieve that at one point in your life. Because once you reach that point, once you reach that state of effortless trading, in fact, I know a lot of this is trading in the zone, which is by far the best trading psychology book there ever is. He calls it, I think he calls it, it's not effortless trading. What does he call it? Carefree trading, having a carefree state of mind. Well, but Chris, you can't have a carefree state of mind in trading, right? You got to be worried and anxious, and trading's exciting and fun. And if it's boring, you're doing it wrong. I'm sorry, no. If it's exciting in any way, shape, or form, you're doing it wrong. It's supposed to be boring.
How much should you have made? What did you deserve? Those words will kill you, by the way. Should, deserve.
Should is the most dangerous word in finance. In fact, I started working on a little like things outliers say slide. Should is the most dangerous word in finance, right? Profits follow price. Losers average losers. All stocks are bad, but every once in a while they act right. Don't buy stocks as they're crashing. Buy stocks as they're crashing up, not as they're crashing down. Things like that.
That's all coulda, shoulda, woulda nonsense, man. A truism that never actually occurred. Traders new and old, they spend years emotionally living in some fantasy timeline, all while their real life is slipping through their fingers. So then sets in irritability, being snarky, distant. Your mood will flow up and down with your P&L. Green day, all right, maybe you're a good person. Red day, nah, you're pretty much worthless on all accounts, right? That's not trading, man. That's known as emotional dependency. That's more of the dark side. And the other thing trading will steal is your body. And nobody talks about this enough. It's a stress sport after all. This isn't just you sitting at a desk. It's high stakes decision making under uncertain conditions over and over and over again.
High stakes decision making under uncertain conditions over and over and over again. That is exactly the best way to describe trading.
And that stress, it does not come without a cost. You ever feel like your chest is tight, like your sleep is completely broken, weird digestion, a clenched jaw, your shoulder is constantly up and in a locked position, haven't breathed all day? Well, that's you and your cortisol stuck in a constant sympathetic state. You're stuck in fight or flight, day to day, week to week, year to year. It can be even worse in crypto, to be honest. High octane volatility running 24/7. No off days, bro. Always another candle, another opportunity, another narrative. You end up living in this constant state of vigilance. And over time, this transitions into chronic fatigue.
Constant state of vigilance. I got to make sure I correct him, because outliers don't say vigilance. We say vigilance. If you know, I misspelled something one day and people didn't let that go.
By the way, insert those uppers and addiction problems, but that's for another story.
Yep. Cease and desist, Chris. You know me.
So yeah, you think you're grinding, that you're locked in, but you're actually consistently eroding your body and mind. This is all going to be taking years off the end of your life when it becomes your identity and your nervous system's permanent setting. And what about your relationships? Trading, it's lonely. It's not like that quiet lonely, but a deep one. The one where you can be surrounded by all sorts of people and still somehow feel alone, like no one can really understand you or what you're going through. You may explain your
or even friends that I have in real life, when I talk about trading, I'll never forget the day when one of my friends, his name's Will, he and I were talking, and we were sitting out by his pool, and I just casually mentioned how in 2024 my account was up 92%. The dynamic shifted at that moment. What? Your account was up 92% in 2024? I was like, yeah, this is what I do. He's like, wait, hold on. That's not possible. And I was like, not for normal people. But when you understand how the market works, then you just have to apply that, and you repeat over and over and over. You let your winners run out of control and you cut your losers short. It's very possible. Does that mean every year it's going to be like that? No, my 2025 results were 30%. My compound annual growth rate over the last 5 years is around 44%. That's not normal. This is the same person whose financial advisor told him, get used to 6% returns forever. A lot of people don't understand what it takes to be successful. Because even Will, who's actually really, really smart, funny story, on that same day, we were playing Connect 4, like big Connect 4, right? Where like each checker was like this big, and we're doing it. And he beat me 4 times in a row. And I'm like, I don't want to play anymore. He beat me 4 times in a row. And then he was like, Chris, I thought you were taking it easy on me. And I'm like, no, shut up. You definitely are smarter than I am. But we all have our areas of expertise. Will is an engineer, and engineers really struggle with trading because, and you can tell me, you're probably an engineer as well. Engineers really struggle with trading because they want A, B, and C to be the outcome because E, F, and G were the inputs, right? With these inputs, I should always get this output. Engineers have a really hard time struggling with that. So do accountants, right? People who want to be precise, 100%, they struggle with that.
Your day to your spouse or friend, and it sounds like, I had a tough day. But in reality, you mean, I'm questioning everything about my entire future, and I don't know what I'm going to do. So you eventually stop trying to explain your thoughts or your feelings, and you maybe withdraw. And yes, the more you withdraw, the more it consumes your entire internal world. That's the trap. And if it fits inside your whole world, then losses don't just hurt your account anymore. They're hurting your whole identity, your self-worth, and your future. So you resort to protecting your ego, not your capital. Blaming, deflecting, not accepting the truths, all of those deep, dark truths, the greed, the envy, the ego, impatience, addiction, self-sabotage, the need to feel right or special, or fantasies of that one big trade that's going to solve everything. Look, this is where my story comes in, by the way. I've been doing this for 12 years, and I've had years that look incredible from the outside. But then I've had multiple years where I genuinely thought, I might be done, man, where my confidence.
Well, and part of that too is that when you've traded for long enough, you understand that there's going to be periods of winnings and periods of losings and periods of nothing where you go sideways for a long time. But when you project that out on the internet, like last year was really interesting because we had a losing streak in the summer. Like I say, I still ended up 30% on the year. But during that losing streak in the summer, I could see the people who follow our trades freaking out as if there was no way we could ever recover from this. We're having monumental couple percent drawdowns, monumental drawdowns. I thought stocks only went up. Chris, I was only listening to you because I thought you were a winning trader. How dare you have a losing streak? There's a couple people that we had to boot from our Discord because they were so toxic. If a stock did not go up when they wanted it to, it's all Chris's fault. I can't believe I would ever listen to this joker on the internet. But at the end of the year, I'm still up 30% my account. How'd you do? I did great. I'm up 75% with the 75% win rate. Sure you did. Sure you did.
Confidence was completely shattered and in the gutter. Years where most of my trades were overreacted and forced. I had to rebuild from scratch, not only financially, but mentally. So the highlights are easy, and anybody can feel like a genius in a bull market, right? But that's the real test, is when you're in the desert, the choppy market, the narratives you don't understand, the markets that don't follow through and make you second guess every single position you hold. That's where a true trader will be revealed. And this is the reason most people fail. It's not because they're dumb or clueless. It's because they can't stay emotionally solvent. They don't have the time to develop those needed skills. They'll quit, they'll blow up, they'll go numb and drift towards other things.
By the way, Dr. J, we have several trades on right now in my US Investing Championship portfolio. I'm really glad you brought this up because somebody in the Discord yesterday, some joker in the Discord, I don't know who it was, it doesn't matter who it was, said, MP better bounce tomorrow or there's going to be some hell to pay. Who's paying that hell? We don't get to tell the market what it's going to do. In fact, I was saying in the shower, having one of those shower thoughts, right? Don't forget to tell your mama, by the way. Don't forget to tell your mama. I had one of those shower thoughts the other day, and I was thinking about the 10 over 20 price over 50, thinking about how the market tells you which direction it's going. It just doesn't tell you how long it's going to go. Or I need to work on that phrase, but I like where it's going, right? The market tells you where it's going, just not how long it's going to go that way. The market tells you which way it's going, just not how long it's going to go that way. I might refine that later on, but it's true. You can see when it's a bullish trend, but there are days when it turns around and it goes down, and then there are days where it turns around and it goes up. The market is always right. Doesn't tell you how long or how much. The market tells you which direction it's going, but it doesn't tell you the distance. Exactly. And that is true. And once you can embrace that uncertainty, like, oh, you know what? I'm going to drive from Dallas to Disney World. I know I'm going to get there eventually, but there are going to be times where I have to stop for traffic. There's going to be times where I need to pull over and maybe charge my Tesla. All right. There may be a couple times where we got to take emergency bathroom breaks on the side of the road. All right. But we're going to get there one way or another. We're going to make it. Come hell or high water, we're going to make it.
Why? Because the pain is real. Okay, but here's the turning point, the light at the end of the tunnel. If you can survive in those murky waters, in that darkness, and find your way to the other side, trading can give you something that nothing else does. It will give you a complete personal evolution. It forces you to become a person who can handle reality. No excuses, no narratives, no blame game, just results. Once you can finally accept that, you can stop fighting the markets and your own demons. Sure, the goal.
Ed Seykota has a quote. Ed Seykota quotes that everybody gets what they want from the market. Let's see if I can find it real quick. I don't know if I can. Yeah, there we go. Everybody gets what they want out of the market. Now, Ed Seykota turned, I think, something like 15,000 into 80 million. And he's known for his trading psychology, and all systems based, by the way. Everybody gets what they want out of the market. If you want excitement, by all means, you can get all that you need in the market. If you want to grow your account by following a plan that has a proven edge, you can get that on the market. If you want to be able to sleep well at night, you can totally do that. If you want to never be able to sleep again because you're so anxious and stressed out, you can do that too. Everything you want, you can get out of the market. I personally choose the low stress route, but you do you, my friend.
Goal is to be right in a way, but it's more to be an executor. Less about winning every trade and more to just stay in the game. Not about dopamine and excitement, but just a consistency over time. And at some point, if you stick around long enough, you will develop a different relationship with loss. It's not as personal. It's not some moral issue. It becomes more informative, feedback, data for you to learn from.
And if you are smart and you have a plan, if you're smart and you have a plan, if you go through a losing streak in that plan, that's an opportunity to say, okay, wait a minute. Let me double check some numbers here. Make sure that I didn't do something wrong, right? In fact, late last year, November, December timeframe, we had a really strong move in our portfolio. We were in the financial sector as well as the energy sector at the same time. The financials went gangbusters. We lost every single energy trade. The financials went out of control. We lost every single energy trade. What did I do in that case? I was like, okay, listen, I want to do a little bit of research on my own. So I had a theory. What if oil's trending down? Does that mean our energy stocks should be avoided as well? Because oil overrides the whole energy sector. Okay. Actually turned out that if oil is trending down, which it was at the time, our expectancy is higher. We just happen to hit a losing streak, right? Sometimes there is bad luck. Then sometimes there's just, having no idea what you're doing. And in that case, just bad luck on those trades. But the other financials paid well more. You tell me in the chat if you were following. The financials paid so much more than those small losses that we took in the energy sector.
Be less emotionally volatile, not because you don't care, but because you've trained your nervous system to stop treating every position like it's life or death. So you'll size positions better, you'll respect volatility, you might even trade much less. And boredom can become a signal instead of something that forces you to act. No position can be a position. The best traders, they're not the ones with the most action, rather they have the best patience and processes. This is when trading will actually start giving back. Not immediately, not magically, but steadily. That clarity you were looking for starts to appear, as well as a belief and self-trust with a little bit of discipline. And in the end, once you truly earn that freedom comes, the one you seek, the real freedom. That comes from the backside of this journey through the dark side, through mastery of the craft. So if you are feeling it right now, come the end of 2025, like you don't stand a chance and things haven't been working out for you, try and reframe what's happening. It's not the end of the story. This is the part where most people quit, where the tourists are told to kick rocks and to get back on LinkedIn. Look, it's brutal because it's built to be, but therein lies the opportunity.
Exactly. This is the hardest way to make an easy dollar. That's the way that I like to describe trading. The hardest way to make an easy dollar. This was a brilliant video. In fact, let's go through a like on it real quick. This guy only has 9,000 subscribers. He's doing an incredible job, at least on this video. I don't know about any of his other videos. So if you like this channel, go check it out. James Rosenthal. Really great video, James. Thank you so much for putting that out. So listen, again, I am competing in the US Investing Championship. Everything you'd want to know is down there. The plan, the trades, the everything. Why am I doing that? Because I want you to see you can be successful in the market and you don't have to lose sleep. You don't have to freak out. You don't have to do anything like that. And every single trade that I put on will be done here live on YouTube. So why don't you subscribe? So listen, if you're ready to save time, make money, start winning with less risk, YouTube's going to pop up a couple videos right here. Click one of them and have a fantastic day.